I hate to get into hot button political issues, but with this next one, I can't really avoid it, and you'll see why in a minute. Okay, this is Harry. Harry Weathersby Stamps, ladies' man, foodie, natty dresser, and accomplished traveler, died on Saturday, March 19th, 2013. Harry was locally sourcing his food years before chefs in California started using cilantro and arugula, both of which he hated. For his signature bacon and tomato sandwich, he procured 100% all-white bunny bread from Georgia, Blue Plate mayonnaise from New Orleans, Sours black pepper from Virginia, homegrown tomatoes from outside Oxford, Mississippi, and Tennessee's Benton bacon from his Bacon of the Month subscription. As a point of pride, he purported to remember every meal he had eaten in his 80 years of life. The women in his life were numerous. He particularly fancied smart women. He married his main squeeze, Anne, a home economics teacher, almost 50 years ago, with whom they had 2 girls. He taught them to fish, to select a quality hammer, to love nature, and to just be thankful. He took great pride in stocking their toolboxes. One of his regrets was not seeing his girl, Hillary Clinton, elected president. He had a lifelong love affair with deviled eggs, Lane cakes, I'm going to have to look that up, boiled peanuts, Vienna, they give the pronunciation in the obituary, so I'm assuming that's right, Vienna sausages on saltines, his homemade canned fig preserves, pork chops, turnip greens, and buttermilk served in martini glasses garnished with cornbread. Ooh. He excelled at growing camellias, I think that's how you say it, rebuilding houses after hurricanes, eradicating mole crickets from his front yard, composting pine needles, living within his means, outsmarting squirrels, never losing a game of competitive sickness, and reading any history book he could get his hands on. He loved to use his oversized old man remote control, which thankfully survived Hurricane Katrina, to flip between watching The Barefoot Contessa and anything on the History Channel. As a former government and sociology professor for Gulf Coast Community College, Harry was thoroughly interested in politics and religion and enjoyed watching politicians act like preachers and preachers act like politicians. He was fond of saying a phrase he coined, "I am not running for political office or trying to get married," when he was speaking the truth. He also took pride in his service during the Korean conflict, serving the rank of corporal, just like Napoleon, as he would say. Harry took fashion cues from no one. His signature everyday look was all his. A plain pocketed t-shirt designed by the fashion house, Fruit of the Loom. His black label elastic waist shorts worn above the navel and sold exclusively at the Sam's on Highway 49, and a pair of old school wallabies that were always paired with a grass-stained MSU baseball cap. Harry traveled extensively. He only stayed at the finest quality, AAA-rated campgrounds, his favorite being Indian Creek outside Cherokee, North Carolina. He always spent the extra money to upgrade to a creek view for his tent. Many years later, he purchased a used pop-up camper for his family to travel in style, which spoiled his daughters for life. He despised phonies, his 1969 Volvo, which he also loved, know-it-all Yankees, Southerners who used the words veranda and porte cochere to put on airs, eating grape leaves, Law and Order, all franchises, Cats, and Martha Stewart in reverse order. Martha Stewart's at the top of the list then. I had to read that list over many times. He particularly hated daylight savings time, which he referred to as the devil's time. It is not lost on his family that he died the very day that he would have had to spring his clock forward. This can only be viewed as his final protest. Because of his irrational fear that his family would throw him a golf-themed funeral, despite his hatred for the sport, his family will hold a private family-only service free of any type of theme. Finally, the family asks that in honor of Harry, that you write your congressman and ask for the repeal of daylight savings time. Harry wanted everyone to get back on the Lord's time. All right. This obituary went kind of viral when it came out, 2013, long time ago, and for good reason. But A follower sent it to me, and she sends it to a lot of people because it's so good. So it's the little things. Often people will say, how do I write an obituary? And I'll say, just make a list of the things they loved and they hated, and that's it. Stories go from there. And really, you could even just put a bullet pointed list in your obituary. That's fine. That's the kind of stuff that people want to hear. So it's the little things that matter. It's the little things. All right, I'm off to figure out where we are in the fight to repeal daylight savings time. So, Harry, you did your job. It's the little things. Thanks, Harry.